Over to you, Mrs. Sakshya.
Thank you, Gayatri ma'am. Namaste and good evening, everyone, and good morning to parents from US. I am Akshay Lalit Sounder, co-founder and faculty of PVI, founder of Inclusive Training Center here. On behalf of Prakramika Vocational Institute, I warmly welcome you all to today's expert talk on caring for yourself while caring for your neurodivergent child. Every meaningful journey begins with light, the light of knowledge, hope, and compassion. Let us now begin this evening by symbolically lighting the lamp, seeking wisdom and strength for all the families gathered here. I request our esteemed chief guest, Ms. Nisha Jose ma'am, Dr. Gayatri ma'am, PVA faculty, our advisory board members, and parents and caregivers of PVA professionals to join the virtual lighting of lamp. Over to you, IT team.
We'll be muting everyone because we want the recording to be without disturbance. If you have any queries, please feel to share it in the chat.
Thank you, IT team. At PVI, we begin every event with a secular prayer, respecting all faith and believing in the universal values of peace, gratitude, and humanity. I now invite everyone to join us in the prayer. I request the IT team to do the needful.
हम होंगे कामयाब, हम होंगे
Thank you, IT team. We shall now listen to the PVI pledge, reaffirming our commitment towards inclusion, dignity, respect, and empowerment for every neurodivergent individual. We request everyone to keep their hand over the heart. Over to the IT team.
We, the proud members of PVI family,
pledge to uphold the spirit of inclusion, to respect every individual's uniqueness,
and to recognize ability beyond the labels.
We vow to stand for equal opportunity,
to foster independence through learning,
and to empower every mind with skill and self-worth.
We promise to build a world where
differences are celebrated, not judged,
where every voice is heard,
and every dream is nurtured.
We dedicate ourselves to a future
where no one is left behind,
where humanity, compassion, and courage
lead us towards the more inclusive tomorrow.
We commit to breaking of the barriers of bias and ignorance,
to challenging systems that exclude,
to becoming a change maker in our classrooms, homes, and communities.
We choose to see the light in every learner.
Is add and potential.
Knowing that every small step can lead to a giant leap of transformation.
We will listen with empathy,
support with integrity,
and teach with love, because inclusion is not the policy.
It is a way of life.
This is our mission.
This is our movement.
We are India, one family, many abilities.
Thank you, IT team. It is now time to formally welcome everyone to this informative and important session. On behalf of Prakramika Vocational Institute, I extend a very warm welcome to each one of you. It is heartening to see so many parents and caregivers joining us for this meaningful session. As caregivers, you dedicate your time, energy, and love to supporting your neurodivergent child every single day. Today, this session is dedicated to you because when caregivers are emotionally strong, families become stronger. We are honored to have Ms. Nisha Jose, an accomplished psychological counselor, speaker, disability inclusion advocate, and writer with us to guide us on building emotional resilience and preventing caregiver burnout. I also take this opportunity to thank the advisory board members of PVI for their constant support and for their gracious presence today. I would like to extend a special thanks to our PVI faculty, Ms. Chandan ma'am, who has joined our session today. Thank you all for taking the time to be here, and I hope this session offers valuable insights, practical strategies, and encouragement that you can carry forward in your caregiving journey. Once again, a heartful welcome to each and everyone, and I wish you all a meaningful and enriching session. Thank you. I now hand over the proceedings to Ms. Akhila ma'am, co-founder and faculty of PVI and founder of Mudita Creative School, to continue the proceedings.
Thank you so much, Akshaya ma'am, for setting the right tone of welcome. It is now my privilege and honor to introduce our esteemed resource person for today's session, Ms. Nisha Jose ma'am. Ms. Nisha Jose ma'am is a therapist and counselor, educator, and disability inclusion advocate with over 15 years of professional experience in counseling, inclusive education, curriculum development, and psychosocial education. She is the founder and managing director of Vatal Foundation, where she has led several impactful initiatives in mental health, disability inclusion, and community engagement. Her work is rooted in the belief that every individual deserves dignity, equity, and opportunities to thrive. She is also pursuing advanced studies in science and religion and international mental health law, policies, and rights-based practices, bringing together psychology, ethics, and social justice to support individuals, families, and institutions. We are truly privileged to have her with us today to speak on a topic that is close to every caregiver's heart: caring for yourself while caring for your neurodivergent child, building emotional resilience, and preventing caregiver burnout. Ma'am, it is our honor to welcome you. The virtual stage is now yours.
Thank you, Ms. Sakila. Once again, thank you, Dr. Gayatri, and all gathered here. And, while observing the initial chat that was happening among you, I could feel the family vibe, really. So I felt so happy that it's a vibrant group. And I'm so happy that I could be part of this family. And I'm not going to make this a lecture, because I truly wanted it to be a family gathering. Okay, I mean, where you can chat and you can share your ideas and thoughts, and I'm here just to facilitate. And so before starting, I would like to recommend a few things. You can keep a notebook and pen if you would like, okay, because I don't want you to just listen and forget everything. And what you can do, you can note down things. You can make a frame of self-care for yourself by the end of the session, and if you could share it by the end of the session. And we are thinking together. Okay, as I said, I'm not lecturing. We'll be thinking together. We'll be brainstorming together, and I believe everyone, each of you here, you are experts by experience, right? Experts by experience. So we have a lot to learn from each other. I have a lot to learn from you, and and from everyone. So in between, you can share your ideas, your thoughts. So it's going to benefit the whole group. Okay, so please, if you don't have a notebook or pen, you keep it there. You can take down points and you can make a framework for yourself. Okay, and anytime if I'm not audible, please let me know. So once again, good evening to all of you. And I received a couple of wonderful questions from from parents, and I really appreciate the way you have framed the questions, and I have categorized it into a few themes. Okay, so we will be discussing. We'll make a discussion on each theme where you two can share your thoughts and ideas. Okay, all of you can share. So the first thing is, caregiver's journey, right? It's not only because you are a parent of a neurodivergent child. Otherwise, also we become caregivers at some point of time, right? Don't you think so? I have been the caregiver of my mother, who was a cancer patient. She left 4 years ago. So I've been taking care of her for the her last 4 years. So recently, I met a couple of people. One of them, one young man, he wrote a book itself on his experiences of, being a caregiver to his mother. And she was also a cancer patient. So we all have experiences of being a caregiver, right? And when it comes to our children, especially when you are parents or caregivers of a neurodivergent child, it's not for a period of time, but it's a lifelong journey, right? So that's what makes it different. So here, we are here to think, how much are we taking care of ourselves while caring for others, right? So I would like to ask you, have you ever thought of it before? Was there any discussion on this topic before?
Nisha ma'am, actually they are all on mute. Do you want me to unmute them so that they can talk?
Yeah, if they can talk, they can, or if they can chat, that's also acceptable. Okay. Or if you don't want to talk, you can just if you agree, you can show a thumb. Okay, it's flexible. You can communicate in whatever way you want.
Okay, I think chat will be better because we can have a proper recording. Parents, that is the reason why we mute everyone. So please don't mistake us, so that whatever Nisha ma'am says is recorded completely for us. Because otherwise, what happens? Each one talking in online, it becomes little difficult. So is it okay? We all go on chat. I hope it is fine. Thank you, parents. Thank you for the support. So please do be active in the chat.
Yeah. Thought about it since my neurodiverse daughter was 1 year old. Okay. Thank you for responding. And many of you have thought. Some people, they don't think about it until they feel burnout, right? Thought about it, but never found time. Okay. Yeah. I remember meeting a lady who was in her 50s. She came for counseling when she was not able to move forward. When I met her, she had all kinds of diseases. Like she was obese, she was diabetic, and she had high cholesterol, and definitely she had a relationship issues, then a couple issues, a lot of struggles, and she was stuck in life. So when I listened to the story, like she has been carrying the responsibilities on her shoulder, and she was living for her children, husband, and in-laws the whole time. And she was finding happiness in the beginning, definitely, until she becomes sick. Okay, she was happy, and it's our value, right? So especially when it comes to women, this is a value, self-sacrifice, and she was doing everything for others. And at some point of time, she realized everyone else in the family flourished, but she is stuck, and she is not needed anymore for children, for husband, for no one. So it was at that time she started thinking about herself, and she became very depressed, and she started taking therapy. So we can see this happening, many of our families, sometimes maybe in your own life. It's common, not only for the parents of the children with a disability, but it happens everywhere, and especially when you have a child with a disability, definitely the depth is more intense, right? So why I started with this story, many of us start thinking about us when we start experiencing burnout or when we feel stuck. Until then, we try to push ourselves, we try to track ourselves. So it's like, pouring from, after one point of time, it becomes like pouring from an empty cup, right? So you need to fill your cup to pour again and again, right? Otherwise, you will not have anything to for. So that's the image that comes to my mind when we think about caregiving. Okay, so I will go through the themes according to the questions I received. Okay, in the first few minutes, we will think about the caregiver journey, caring without losing yourself. That is the theme I derived from your questions, a couple of questions. Okay, let us think about that. The caregiver journey, caring without losing yourself. Okay, so here, an important thought we need to have is that a regulated caregiver can better regulate a neurodivergent person. Okay, so the question to ourselves is how regulated we are. How regulated are our emotions? Okay, how much we are able to regulate our health, our thoughts, our life. Okay, that much you can regulate your child or child's life. So if you're not able to regulate yourself, you cannot expect to regulate the life of your or regulate the emotions of your child. Okay, that's a beginning thought we need to have. And we often spend enormous energy, right, supporting our child while ignoring our own needs. And what happens over the years, it becomes chronic stress. Okay, that's the story of the lady I shared in the beginning. She was spending enormous energy, taking care of everyone in the family. She was taking care of all the responsibilities. She was multitasking, and she was taking loan and she was paying it back, and doing all household chores. Everything was done by her. But over the years, it became chronic stress, and she developed all kinds of diseases. Okay, so let us think about the signs of burnout. Okay, so when I mention a few signs of burnout, I want you to take down, okay, analyze yourself, and you can at the end you can chat like at least a few burnout signs if you find in yourself. Okay, so the first sign could be constant exhaustion. You feel that there is no energy left in you. Okay, morning you find it very difficult to get up from the bed. You need to drag yourself out of bed. You really wish to take off. You really wish to go somewhere else or sleep. You don't have the energy to do anything at all. And somehow you want to finish the day and you want to go to bed. No energy at all. So the constant feeling of exhaustion. Every day you're feeling this. Every time you're feeling, the whole day you're feeling exhausted. Okay, that's the important and primary sign of burnout. And second symptom or sign could be irritability. You easily get irritated, okay, by silly things. Maybe some noises, maybe a slight tantrum your child throws up, or a silly humor, a noise. Everything irritates you. You get irritated so easily, and you are not able to manage your emotion. Everything irritates you. So that irritability could be another sign. And feeling guilty while resting. You have a constant need to work. Okay, you don't want to rest at all. Every time you're walking and you're going to bed late, and in case if you take rest for a while, you feel guilty about that. Oh my God, I took rest. I didn't have to, take rest so long. So you feel guilty. You're always on edge, and you feel vigilant, and you are always alert. So that could be another symptom of or sign of burnout. And the social isolation. Okay, you used to have a lot of friends, you have a lot of connections, social connections, but now you don't feel like connecting with anyone. You don't feel like calling anyone. You don't feel like spending time, and you don't want even people to come home, and you don't want to visit anyone, and so socially an isolated feeling. You are completely with your family and your children inside home. There is no social connection at all. And another sign could be sleep problems like insomnia or hypersomnia. You are not able to sleep at night. Every day you fall asleep by 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning, and that too disturbs sleep or nightmares. Or sometimes when you start sleeping, you are not able to come out. So sleep disturbances, sleep problems, and the health neglect is another sign. You're not taking care of your health at all. Okay, I mean it's like you have to take care of. You avoid your health checkups, regular checkups. You avoid your workout. You avoid your diet. Everything. You ignore and neglect your health completely. Okay, and you don't care. You don't bother. I mean, that also could be a sign of burnout and no energy, no interest in anything, any activities. Okay. So all these are, and feeling depressed, anxious all the time. So if we have at least 2 or 3 symptoms, 3 or 4 symptoms, okay, it could be a sign that you are experiencing burnout. If you have interacted in chat, let me see. Agree, but I never thought about it. Okay. I see this sign, feel very guilty, resting. Okay, I've seen that in many people. I see the sign of no energy. Yeah. Okay, so you don't have to. If you feel like sharing, you can do it in chat. Otherwise, you can note it down. Okay. So overthinking, definitely overthinking, negative thinking. You feel disappointed. A lot of signs we can find out. So, how can you do the self-care for framework? Okay, there are many things. We should develop a holistic approach. We should think holistically. These are some general things I'm talking about, and we will narrow it down, and we will come to a little more deeper reflections later. But generally, how to take care of yourself? Which are the areas you need to take care of? You all know that body is one thing. You need to take care of your body, health, right? Sleep, healthy food, workout, and sleep. Everything comes there. So body, sleep, walking, taking a walk outside, and nutrition, regular health checkups, and your emotions, mind, right? And mindfulness, gratitude, channeling, a lot of things we can see, and generally. And most importantly, therapy if required. What happens with the caregivers? We give therapy for our children, right? But do we ever take therapy for ourselves? I would like to know. I am curious. It's not only to parents, even for you teachers, okay, and special educators and everyone who's working with children. Have you ever gone for personal therapy? No. Okay. So this is very important. We need to take therapy. I'm a counselor, but I take therapy. Okay. I mean, that is also part of our professional development. Okay. It should, and your institute, you can make it mandatory, if you would like. I mean, you can find counselors who can, available for the parents and caregivers. I mean, your staffs too, and make it mandatory. At least a couple of sessions you need to, they are taking, and they are, you should make sure of your health, emotional health. I took a break when I lost my mom. I've been taking care of her, and I took a break in counseling because I was under stress. Stress. So how can I help others? What is therapy? Getting right medical treatment is called therapy. No, I will explain that. It's not when it is necessary to take medication. You can take that, right? Therapy are different kinds of therapy. There are pharmacotherapy, which is medication. Okay, and if you really need medication, if you are very depressed, okay, I will explain that. Okay, and see, there are different kinds of therapy, right? We can sometimes, it depends on the intensity of our burnout and issues. If you are really depressed and anxious, and if you are in a need of medication, definitely your therapist or psychologist will tell you to refer a psychiatrist and take medication. And if that is needed, you need to take medication. And otherwise, there are different kinds of therapies available, right? Counseling is there, and different kinds of psychotherapies are available there. So, and you can do that. Yeah, there are many tips coming in the chat. I really appreciate that. We can read all those. So while the point is that you don't have to be ashamed of taking therapy. I have taken therapy, and recently I was talking to a friend who is a psychologist. Her mother was sick. She was a cancer patient, and she was taking care of her mother. And she told me she was feeling stuck and she was feeling overwhelmed in between. So while taking care of mother, she started taking therapy. Okay, and she was giving counseling to others. So this is a professional mindset we need to have. This is part of our professionalism. So parents need, and the teachers need, we all need to take care of our emotional and mental health. So it's always helps if you go for personal therapy. Okay, and there are many points you mentioned: traveling, journaling, or reading a book. Everything is there. We'll cover all that. And friends, okay, what happens when we have a child like this, or when we are in a caregiver role? We limit ourselves or our world completely to our children and family and their therapy, their sections, right? So we don't take care of, we lose all our, friends and social connections, everything, right? So we still need our friends' time. It's not that you need to go out and spend a lot of time with them. If it's possible, you can, but at least make sure that you are, you finding some time to chit chat. You're finding some time to, call someone and, share something. That you should make that part of your life. You should not lose your old friendships. So, since this is a family, this is like a family, you can have a lot of friends among yourselves, right? Parents can have a lot of friends among yourselves. You can support a lot each other, right? So why don't you develop a friends groups among yourselves? So there can be a friend circle where you can spend time and have some fun. Okay, so friends could be an important thing. And another thing is support groups. I hope the school have support groups, ma'am. Did you have support groups? Right. Okay. So support. Okay. Support groups helps a lot. Groups where the parents and even for teachers. Okay, you can come and you can share your burnouts, your worries and things maybe every week or once in a month or once in 2 weeks. That helps a lot. Okay, So you will understand, okay, I'm not alone. Well, there is a lot of benefits when you have support group. When you listen to others' stories, the primary thing is that you are getting a space to share, okay, your experiences and your stress and your worries. And, when you listen to others' stories, you feel that you are not alone. Okay, you feel supported and feel connected. And that could really help. So friends, support groups, see, because when we have problem, we have a tendency to shrink into ourselves, right? But that actually will not help. We don't want others to know our struggles. That's what we think of many times. We don't want others to know our struggles. We don't want others to know that we are struggling, we are suffering. And so we keep everything to ourselves, and we want to show that we are strong and we are handling everything boldly. Okay, but that is not necessary. We should accept that we all are human beings, right? We have needs, we can have problems. You don't have to carry it all alone on your shoulder. You don't have to be bold all the time. Okay, that is not human, right? So that is where we need to find somebody we can trust, and we can share our vulnerability, acknowledge our vulnerability, struggles, and share our struggles with others. That really helps to release. You don't have to guard everything, and you don't have to face. So see, what I have seen in many parents of such children, they are putting a bold face. They are scared to show their vulnerability. Okay, and it's like sometimes they think, okay, this happened to my child, or my child happened to be like this. So they take a kind of moral responsibility to that. Especially that is very strong in our culture. Okay, I mean, people also attribute this to parents, sometimes mothers, to mothers especially. So mother, consciously or unconsciously, they take the responsibility, moral responsibility for the child's difference, and they think they need to carry everything on their shoulder, and they need to fix everything, and they have to show others that they are bringing up the children with nothing less perfectly. I mean, that creates a lot of pressure. So you don't have to do that. I mean, that is where we need to acknowledge our vulnerability and seek connections and help, and we need to create spaces to share our worries. Okay, that's very important. So since this is a group where you share similar experiences, life experiences, you can have such groups among yourself. Okay, and okay, there are a couple of other things I need to highlight. When we spend our time completely. Am I stuck? Okay. It's okay now, right?
No, ma'am. No.
I'm seeing it's fine. So when we spend the whole time with children caring, what happens? Our focus gets narrowed towards the problems and mistakes. We will be scanning and checking where it needs to be improved. Okay, where we miss the progress, strengths, and positives sometimes. Our mindsets gets fixed, on the negatives, on the shortcomings, on the problems. So that could be really a problem. So it becomes a pattern. We develop a kind of negative thinking. So there are small tips you can, do to rewire your brain or reorient your brain. Like a simple tip could be write a gratitude journal before you bed. Okay? Find at least 3 things that went right today or that went well today. Okay, and write it down before you go to bed. And be grateful. And if you're spiritual, if you believe in God, you can thank God and make that a prayer. God, thank for helping me. I have these positive things here. Okay, these are the 3 things went well today. Or if you're grateful to the conscience, or the universe or life, whatever you believe in, you can thank. You can be grateful for even for this, tiny things that happen positively. And so yes, gratitude journal. So when you start doing that, you are actually retraining your brain to focus on the positives and strengths. You will start notice the positives and strengths in yourself, in your child, okay, and in your life, whatever happens in your life. So our brain also needs a little retraining to shift our focus, which is completely on problems and struggles now. We need to shift to the improvement, progress, and positives that is happening. Okay, give you more mental clarity. Yes, yeah. So when we talk to the support groups, when you are in support groups, there can be time for I can do that also. When you chat with others, or when you talk with others, you can share that too. Your sharing doesn't need to be always on the positive and always on the negatives. You can share both. That will help you to retrain your brain. And how about your hobbies? Are you doing your hobby? Did you completely abandon it? We do summer camp for children. Okay, it's called a Libra. So it's not only for elders, adults, even for children. When we are busy, we abandon our hobbies sometimes, right? And we don't encourage even our children to, do their hobbies these days. We encourage them to be studious and completely immersed in studies, right? My keyboard is not working. Okay, please, why don't you can fix it and start, playing it. So I would encourage you to restart your hobbies. Okay, what I'm telling, when we organize the camp, one thing we told the children was that to bring whatever they want to the camp. Like if they had some hobbies, they could bring their musical instruments, they could bring their painting and brushes, or whatever they have, they could bring. So what surprised me, many of them told they restarted their hobbies from the camp because they had abandoned it a long time ago when they were completely into studies. So in the same way, when you also get seriously into your duties and your caregiving, you forget your hobbies and you forget what what were the things that made you happy, and make you repressed one time. And you became so serious about your roles, right? Seriousness should be there. At the same time, you can bring some kind of happiness and joy to your personal life. So if you feel like restarting your hobbies, you can do that. Okay. And I encourage you to write it down. If anything comes to your mind, that if you feel, okay, I love to dance for positive. Wonderful. There are many comments came in chat. I really appreciate. Yes. We all have some kind of hobbies, or our own coping mechanisms. If there is something you left behind long ago, think of getting it back to your life. And another thing I really love to talk about is couple time. Okay. Many of the time when we listen to parents, okay, when they get stressed, they distance from each other. Okay, they completely get immersed in the problem, and they think about it. Especially when you have a child with a disability or child with some kind of difficulties, and when you start taking care of it, many people think spending couple time is something wrong. Okay, there are people feel guilty about it, and there are people who don't consider this as an important part anymore. Okay, the complete focus and complete time is with the child, with children. But you should understand the emotional and physical intimacy you share with your partner, the quality time you spend with your partner, your time alone, the couple time, is that itself is really, helpful for you to cope with your stress. Okay, and the physical intimacy that really helps you to reduce and overcome your stress. It will give you resilience, emotional and physical resilience. So when you are in stress, when you have so much of responsibility, you should not reduce the couple time. You need to spend some time for yourself, for each other's. Okay, and you need to, if you have abandoned it, definitely you should think of regaining it. I mean, recovering it. You should think of how to plan a quality time for each other, at least some time, and how to bring back that emotional and physical intimacy between you. Okay, that is very important. And the spirituality, if you definitely, for many people, spirituality brings meaningful and resilience. Okay? And some participants had asked me, parents had asked me about how to maintain the positive framework and a positive mindset, okay, during the struggling time. That's really an interesting question. Okay, I mean, how to maintain the positive mindset. I would like to ask you another thing. Is it possible to be positive all the time? Yes or no? Okay. It's not possible to be positive all the time, right? And the second question, is it necessary to be positive all the time? No, right? It's not necessary to be positive all the time. We are actually taught to accept emotions which are considered as positive, okay, from the childhood alone. I mean, actually, there is no emotions like positive or negative. All our emotions, all are healthy to an extent. What we call negative emotions are actually emotions which are unpleasant to feel. Okay, they are not negative in itself. They are likely unpleasant to feel. We don't like to feel, experience it. That's why we call it negative, right? And we want pleasant emotions to feel. We must allow ourselves to feel every emotions. Yes, truly. So all emotions, we should understand that all emotions are okay. All emotions are healthy. We really need to have all kinds of emotions, okay? And everything is acceptable. But we can ask a few questions to ourselves. Is this emotion helping me? Sometimes even sadness or stress may help us, right, to prepare, or in many ways. And another question could be, is this emotion healthy? Is it helping? Is it healthy? And is it functional? Is it making me functional? And if the answer is no to all these questions, if it's not healthy, if it is not, making you functional, if it is making you dysfunctional, then you need to think of, an intervention. You need to take care of you, and you need to come out of that feeling. Otherwise, feeling a little bit overwhelmed, feeling a bit disappointed, feeling a bit depressed at times, and feeling anxious at times, that's completely okay. That is part of your life. That's the first thing we need to think of. So we cannot be positive all the time, and we don't need to be positive all the time, but we can be realistic. We can try to be realistic. And so accept all the emotions, all kinds of emotions. And when you feel that is unhealthy and dysfunctional, okay, you really need to seek help. Okay. And another thing, one more thing I want to add with this. There is a difference between hope and expectation. Do you agree with that? Hope and expectations, right? So hope could be, one example for the hope could be, my child can grow, right? Hope is fine if not fulfilled. Okay. So hope is like, okay, my child can grow, until his death. That's a hope, right? So my child can grow forever, or I can learn, every year, or until my death. That's what I believe. I can learn and grow until my death. That's a hope. And there is if I tell you an expectation, example for expectation, I should be, independent, or my child should be or must be independent by the age of 25 or 35. Okay, that's an expectation. And when there is a should and must in the expectation becomes so rigid, okay, and which we call irrational belief. Okay, this is irrational, and this is illogical, and this is very unhealthy. So you should check your hope is our lifeline, really. So I invite you to check your expectations. We all have expectations. Having expectation is okay. I mean, we have expectations about ourselves. We have expectations about, others, including our children, and we have expectations about life. Okay. But what we need to check, how flexible are our expectations? Okay. If there is a should, if there is a must, if there is always, every time, everywhere, everybody, these kinds of universal words or languages, you should understand that your expectations are not realistic. Okay, you are keeping unrealistic expectations, and that is really irrational. So what will happen if you keep an irrational expectations about yourself? It can be about yourself and your role as a caregiver, or as a parent, or as a teacher. Okay, I'll tell you an example what will happen. Suppose you have a very rigid expectation about yourself as a mother or father. As a mother or as a father, I must be available to my child whenever he or she is in a need. Okay, suppose that's your expectation about yourself. And imagine you couldn't be available when your child was in a need. not by purpose, but you could not do that. You were traveling somewhere else, or you happened to be somewhere else, and your child had an emergency, then you couldn't be available there. So if you are a caregiver with a rigid expectation, like I must be available to my child as a mother whenever the child needed me, the child is in need. What will happen when you fail to meet this expectation at least once? Okay, you cannot forgive yourself. You will be in immense stress and struggle, and then three things will happen. You will reach to three other kinds of conclusions about yourself. I'll tell you briefly. Like you will start thinking, oh, I couldn't be available to my child. That's really horrible. That's terrible. Okay, I couldn't take care of my child. That's really terrible, horrible. We will horrify things. I mean, we will, magnify the incident. Okay, and that is really unhealthy. You couldn't be available to the child once. Okay, you're supposed to be there. You wish to be there, but you couldn't be available. That's not your fault. So everything is not in your control. So that's why we need to keep our expectations flexible. So instead of thinking, I must or should be available to my child whenever the child needs, okay, or whenever the child is in need, we can make it flexible. I wish to be available to my child whenever the child needs. At the same time, I know, I'm a normal human being and everything is not in my control. Sometimes as a human being, I may fail to be available, or sometimes I may fail to be, a parent as I expect. I may not be a perfect parent all the time. Okay, so make that expectation of your role a little flexible. Everything is not in your control. The whole life is not in your control. The child's life is not completely in your control. Okay, the child's future is not completely in your control. Not completely in the control of parents. Not completely in the control of educators. Okay, there are many things which are beyond our control. So we need to accept that, acknowledge that. And so we need to keep our expectations a little flexible, and that will reduce your stress. And these expectations are not only about yourself, but about it will create a lot of stress. I have come across a lot of parents, because of this rigid expectation, the expectation to be perfect parents. It creates a lot of stress and anxiety, and they are not able to forgive themselves, and it affects their mental and physical health very badly. So you should abandon that rigid and perfectionism. And once it doesn't happen, if you fail to fulfill your expectation, there are two other things that other kind of conclusion which you reach to. The first thing is, this is horrible and terrible. Instead of using horrible and terrible, tell yourself, okay, I couldn't be there. That is bad. Okay, that is bad. I couldn't be there. But is it really horrible? Is it really terrible? Cannot be. Not that, right? So don't give over seriousness to your mistakes or your small failures, even to small failures. The second conclusion you may reach when your rigid expectations are not met could be like, I can't stand it. If I fail to take care of my child, okay, as I expect, I can't stand it. If something happens to my child in this way, I can't stand it. I can't tolerate it. Okay, that too is faulty thinking. There are many things we stood. Okay, even when you say that you can't stand it, you are actually standing it, right? So many things in our life which we think we can't stand it, we have stood it, and we are still standing it. We can stand it. That's the reality. Okay, our tolerations, this tolerance level is much beyond what we think. So we don't have to reach the conclusion that if something happens, if I fail, I can't stand it. No, we can. And the third conclusion is more important and more serious. Like, we go to depreciation. When our expectations are not met, we depreciate self, others, and the life. I failed to do this duty, so I failed to be available when my child was in need. So I'm not worthy. I'm not a worthy parent. I'm not a good parent. You depreciate yourself. Okay. I'm as a mother, I'm a failure. As a teacher, I'm a failure. Okay. So self-depreciation. And okay. I have a message from another Nisha. Okay, thank you, Nisha, for being here. Okay. Take care. So, others' depreciation. Suppose the child couldn't meet our expectation. Okay, we depreciate child. Oh, the child is not worthy. So, or we have an expectation from our partner. Okay, or our teachers, and sometimes they fail to meet the expectation. When they think, we depreciate them. They are not good partners. They are not good teachers. We depreciate others, and we depreciate our life itself. We expect the life to be so and so. We expect to have a perfect self, perfect life, and a perfect way of living. But that's not happening. So my life is not worthy. Okay. So the life depreciation. So, when it happens, we definitely, we get into more disappointment, frustration, and anxiety. A lot of issues happen. But these all are irrational thinking, because even if you fail in something, even if you're not a perfect parent, even if your child is not perfect, even if your teacher, even if you're not a perfect teacher, you are still worthy, right? Because the worth that is inherent, we all are inherently worthy people. Our life is worthy. Do you think it's not? I'll tell you an example. Imagine your loved one, a person, someone who you love most, got into an accident, okay, or got some stroke or something, and the person is at the edge of death. What will you be praying? You will pray, you will offer everything, and you will pray, God, even if the person doesn't walk, even if the person doesn't, do anything, I don't care. I just need he or she to be alive. I'll take care of, right? That could be our prayer. I just need the life back. Okay, I don't care whatever happens. I mean, even if the person is completely bedridden, I don't care. I just need the life back. And even if I have someone, a loved one who is bedridden for a long time, even at the last moment, he will pray to prolong the life, right? Even if the person is in a vegetative life. What does it mean? The life itself has got a worth in it, right? So our failures or our imperfections, it doesn't make your life unworthy. Your imperfections, your mistakes, your failures didn't make you unworthy. The shortcomings of your life or misfortunes of your life, it doesn't make your life unworthy, right? Still, we all are worthy. So these kinds of flexibility in our thinking, in our expectations, can really build, the emotional resilience into your life. I've seen this problem with a lot of parents, my parents in general, and especially when it comes to, parenting a child with diverse needs. It, it fits. You take the responsibility of, fixing everything in the life of the child, and you try to be perfect parent, perfect teachers, and you keep the whole focus and whole energy into this. And when you fail to do that, when you make a small mistake, you feel horrible, terrible, you feel very sad, upset, and you depreciate yourself, right? The life is much more beyond that. So, be flexible in your expectations. Accept that you are a vulnerable and big human being with a lot of imperfections. Okay, so that really can help you to keep a realistic and positive framework. Okay, so and mindful about the languages we use. As I mentioned, must, should, all kinds of, words should be avoided always. Everybody, all kinds of that universal terms, and instead of that, be flexible. And another thing, okay, your child may not be independent now, but he still can grow. Neurodivergent children, people, sometimes they grow. I mean, they make much development in their 30s, some people in 40s, right? So we cannot predict that. So if you're not seeing the progress you want to see in your child, okay, in the age you want to see it, then don't come to the conclusion that, okay, this person or the child is not going to grow, or this child is not going to develop. No, you cannot predict a person's development, growth, or success, and you cannot limit it to an age. So it can happen till the end. So it's a lifelong journey and process. And so many have asked, about the independent, being independent. So this is what I want to tell you. Being independent is not a destination. It's a journey. Don't keep it as a destination, and never keep a rigid expectations like my child to be completely independent by this age. No, not that. It's a lifelong journey. They can grow till the end. Okay, and another thing is he can celebrate even small successes, small improvements, progress, and a tiny gains. Okay, that is also, as I told you in the beginning, I mean, it's a part of retraining our brain. Okay, we often measure success in large terms, right? So when people come to me for counseling, this is something I tell them in the beginning session itself. When you go back, don't look for big changes in your life. Okay. Instead, think of the tiny changes that happened in you. Even the small progress you made. Okay, and acknowledge and appreciate it, and feel happy about it. Then you start growing more. So you don't have to measure the progress that is happening in you and in your child's life in larger measures. Learn to appreciate even small progresses and tiny gains, and appreciate your child for that and feel happy. When you start doing gratitude journals, don't look for big things to be to be grateful. You can take tiny gains, tiny achievements. You can start like that. So we will really retrain our brain. Another thing is, you should think that consistency is important. Okay. Consistency. Even if you don't see the result, don't be disappointed. Be consistent in your training. I'm going a little fast because our time is going to be at soon, right? So consistency and appreciate your effort than the result. Okay, that is much important. When you, again, about yourself, don't measure the success. Okay, what are the things went well? Oh my God, I did that. So much. I made so much of effort, but I couldn't achieve this. Okay, don't think that. Appreciate your effort. You have done so much. Okay, as a parent, you have done so much. You have put this much effort. All efforts may not have a fruitful result as we expect. That's okay. But still you are doing. So find a meaning in the effort, okay, than the result. So that will help you to keep a positive, healthy emotional state. And emotional growth, you should focus on your emotional growth and not only achievements. And one more thing, a few more things I want to tell you. Some people have asked about, the aging, right? Aging. You are aging and your children are growing. So what could be their future? How they are going to be, independent, and what you could do? Definitely, these are the questions a lot of people have in their mind. Okay, and you should understand that that's also something you need to, accept that you are aging and your children are also aging. That is something not in your control. And especially when they get into adolescent age, you are seeing a lot of changes in them. That is also there in the question. I think that's why I'm mentioning that age too. And how to handle the changes that's happening in them. See, generally, what happens to children when they get into adolescent age? Our focus is going to their behavior instead of the needs. Okay? Each behavior expresses some need. Instead of thinking about the behavior and how to control the behavior, pause yourself, observe, and find out the need behind the behavior. Okay? For example, when a child argues to you, or when the child rebels, you call it, oh my God, the child was so obedient. The child is now, he or she has become so disobedient. The child is so, you have become so arrogant. You're not listening to me. You're not in my control. So we are thinking about the behavior and we are trying to control the behavior. Think about the need behind it. Actually, when a child gets into adolescence, the child has a need to be independent, right? The person has a need to think independently. And the person has a need for autonomy. That's truly biological, psychological. It's quite normal. It's part of our growth. But we call it arrogance or rebelliousness, right? And we try to control. So there is a need for autonomy. And there is no the need to take decision by themselves. So understand the need and address the need in a right way. Okay, instead of trying to control the behavior. So that will help you. For everything, there's a need behind it. And instead of what is the need behind behavior, instead of how do I stop or control this behavior? Okay, and during sensory overload, you know what you need to do. Instead of arguing, lecturing, or reasoning, you can reduce noise, lights, crowd, offer headphones. I'm sure you are experts and masters in such things, so I don't have to tell you that. Find a quiet corner and, instead of lecturing and trying to make them understand things, you can try to regulate their emotions first. Okay, try to settle them, and make them calm, then discuss things. And you don't have to be so rigid that they should understand everything properly. Sometimes it may not happen. Keep your expectations flexible. And somebody asked about helping them understand future responsibilities. Okay, because the parents are not going to be there, siblings are not going to be there forever. So how to make a child understand that the future responsibilities? So here I would like to say, um, we grew up in a system like where we were told, we parents are not going to be there always. Okay, so you need to be independent, you need to learn this, you need to take care of yourself. And if it is to a girl, we all used to listen, you are someone who's supposed to go to another house, okay, and mama is not going to be there to do everything for you, right? So you have to do all the things by yourself. We are not going to be there to take care of you, fix everything for you, so you have to take care of yourself. So that's the kind of conversation, the style of conversation we used to listen, right? But that is not what we need to uh, communicate to our children. Instead of saying that we are not going to be there and so you should learn, you communicate to them, we want them to do these things because they are capable of doing it. We believe that they are capable of doing it. Okay. We can communicate to them that, you have done this well, you have done well these things in the past. So we believe you can do this too. Okay, this is going to be really wonderful. You can do this. We believe that. So say that we believe in their capacity to do it. So that is going to encourage children, to learn and progress themselves. Instead of saying that, instead of making them anxious and fearful, saying that we are not going to be there, so you have to do it by yourself. So build their confidence and faith in themselves. So a few more points I will share that firstly, and then we will wind up. So what are the things we need to teach them? We can teach handling money, how to cook for themselves. I mean, may not be like a chef, but at least to how to cook for themselves, how to travel, take them to in public transportation, and teach them how to buy a ticket or book a cab, such practical things. And instead of focusing only on academical works, you can teach them these life skills and how to handle money and how to travel and how to communicate, how to book an appointment, how to book a doctor. So it can be a gradual scaffolding. Life skills, make training of life skills a part of your training. So, and sharing, and last and important thing, you have asked about caregiving responsibilities. Caregiving is not a one person's responsibility, right? It's a family responsibility. So I will tell you what to avoid. One exhausted primary caregiver is negative. So instead of keeping everything on one caregiver, create team care. Okay, you can make a family care map. Who manages medical? Who manages finances? Who manages education? Daily routines. And so inside the family itself, you make a team and divide the responsibility among yourself. Okay, and you can get a family. You should explore the government benefits these days. Many government agencies or private agencies, they are also giving caregiving services. I have heard that in governments they have such services. I don't know if it is there everywhere, So you can explore such opportunities and make use of such support systems. If you want to take a break, you can get help of a caregiver. Okay, and you do the future planning together, and you should have a map of emergency contact, and supporting siblings, and another question was that how to make siblings understand their need of supporting. And the thing is that many siblings, they want to support, they wish to support, but they don't know how to. So assign meaningful roles. Okay, for example, if the child is staying in another place, make a weekly video call, or accompany the child for medical appointments, teach technology and financial planning, and weekend outings or family meetings, and therapy sessions, taking the child to the therapy. So such small tasks can be assigned to siblings and help them to have a meaningful engagement. Okay, and discuss current needs, future plans, parents' health, siblings' roles, everything. As a family, you can come together and discuss and divide these roles. That will help you to reduce the burnout. Okay, and I have one more question to cover. Okay, children. Okay, to that question, I want to say that aging is a reality. So we continue changing. So what we need to keep in mind is that the development does not stop after 18. An adult may grow even in their 30s, 40s, or 50s. And so future planning, the planning of the child, as a pyramid, like when you get age, how can you help your child? So plan it like a pyramid. So level 1 could be health. Okay, and you can get a list of people who knows medications of this child, or who are the doctors the child can contact, and what are the medical history, who knows the medical history. So that could be a planning, and teach that person to contact these people, who knows the medical history, to whom contact the person need to contact if he or she has a health needs. And the second level could be daily living. As I said in the beginning, teach them how to cook, how to transport, how to take personal care, shopping, consistent training. And level 3 could be legal. Okay, if there is a guardianship applicable, that should be planned, and will, nominee, trust, and if there is a trust, you can contact, and interested child, you can contact that, and insurance. All these things can be planned in the third level. And the fourth level, you could connect with the social planning, like your friends, neighbors, community, support workers. So if you need to have support of all these, from childhood onwards, you should connect the child with the community and the neighbors and friends who accept the child and you, and connect that, build that connection and network from beginning itself. And the fifth level could be for a meaningful life, what you can do, we can plan employment, volunteering. You don't have to expect your child to be employed all the time. Okay, volunteering also is acceptable. And if employment is possible, definitely you should think of employment. And sometimes volunteering also can be accepted, and encourage their hobbies, relationships, and make a purpose to their life. And and when should parents support? Again, sometimes independence fluctuates. Okay, so you can beforehand itself, you can start this planning and help the child to be independent. At the same time, you watch for the symptoms. If there is a withdrawal, if there is an anxiety, if there is a fluctuation in independence, that can happen. Okay, so watch for and observe for the fluctuations that is happening in independence. At that time, we can again get into the picture and support them. Again, help them to be independent. So all these levels of planning can be done. The pyramid is a galactic form. Yeah. So you can plan in different levels and train them in all these different levels, and slowly help them to be independent. At the same time, keep your expectations flexible. This independence can fluctuate. So, again, we can get in there and help them. Okay. So you can do that planning. So you can make a framework for your own health. Most importantly, look at yourself, find time for yourself and find time with your spouse, friends, family, and make support groups and, friends time. So it's not, see, for what kind, for all kinds of problems, we need to connect with the society and others, right? So because we are social beings, so we cannot have problems with only to ourselves, and that's going to create burnout. So we need to reach out, we need to connect, and we need to get support from others. That's how we can heal others, and we can, if you really think you need help, never be ashamed to take a personal counseling and therapy for yourself. Okay. So this is what I would like to say in general. Thank you. I would like to thank you everyone for the wonderful and active participation. Okay, I couldn't read all the messages, but I was seeing what is coming there. Thank you. I know we don't have the time to respond to everything, but I'm glad that you were active throughout the session, and I hope you have some plan framework for yourself, okay, to care yourself. Okay, if you have done that, I'm happy with that. Once again, thanks a lot, ma'am, Dr. Gayatri, and to all, to all dear parents, and all board members. Thank you.
Thank you, Nisha ma'am. Nisha ma'am, one small question can you address? Only one question, last question.
Yeah,
I have put it in the chat also. This is a question from two siblings actually. So they are married siblings. So their question is, the first sibling, how can a married sibling support a neurodivergent child? How they can balance between their marriage and the neurodivergent brother or sister? And the second sibling has asked, I have a 35-year-old brother, a slow learner, dad is 76 old, and they lost their mother recently. How to handle him? Because both the sisters are married. So how do they do it, and how they are not able to balance basically? So they want to ask how they as siblings can manage both, because they are feeling guilty that they are not able to help and support.
Okay. The first of all, I want to tell them that you don't have to feel guilty. Again, the expectation part. I want to come that. Okay. You may feel sad. That is okay, but guilt is not necessary. Okay. We may feel sad. We may feel disappointed at times. That is okay, but guilt is not necessary because it's not your fault. Okay. So be self-compassionate to yourself. That's the first thing, because you are balancing your family life and you are taking care of your sibling. So you are doing it wonderfully, and so be compassionate to yourself. That's the first thing, and accept the reality. And I would recommend you to find some support system, like explore some agencies or government services. Find some support system who can intervene and take care of these needs. So with the support system, you can manage. You don't have to shoulder everything on yourself. And one problem I am seeing in in our culture, especially in our Indian culture, we have a thought that the family members need to take care of everything. Accepting some kind of services from outside is not acceptable for us. So we think that that is, we are escaping from our responsibility. Oh, okay, but that is not actually healthy. when we get professional help, okay, when we seek professional help, when we need it, when we are not able to do it, that's completely acceptable, and that is the right step we need to take. Okay, or family members, cannot do everything all the time. Okay, this is what I want to tell. There is no support system in Pune except rehab. Okay. Actually, we have a lot of, gap in our system itself, right? So actually, when before entering to this webinar, I was thinking about it. We still need to develop a lot of social supporting systems. Uh, we have other healthcare systems like that, right? So people go and give support to people at home when they are sick. And here, my friend is doing a business, like it's a kind of business plus service. They are, they go to houses. In many of the houses, the children, they are abroad and parents are alone. And so, they will go and take care of all medicals, care. And if they need to take the parents to hospital, they will do everything they will do. So they go home and take care. So in our, about our children also, such systems should be developed. You can think of if someone is interested, we can come up with such projects, and why don't we encourage such projects? So, and people can go home and assist parents and siblings to take care of such people in their needs, right? And for these siblings, what I can suggest, and for the time being, at least to find some, friends circle or somebody who can just come and support you in your needs in case of emergency or when you are not able to come. Okay, if that is possible, try to find someone. Okay, thank you. There are some sibling support groups also in few cities. Okay, Amarnath, Delhi. So, people who are from Pune, you can, try to connect with, the similar people with a similar kind of needs in Pune. Try to, connect with, find out such people, and you can make a support group system where you can, go and support each other. That's how we develop. We need to network. Hope I could answer you all in a
Yes, ma'am.
possible
Thank you,
way.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Really, thanks a lot on behalf of PVI family, because this one area we are really, we need help. We need the support. Parents and even teachers, all caregivers, we need that support. And ma'am, as you rightly said, I have written, and this I'm announcing to the parents also. Here, let us follow what ma'am has told. The session is not just a tick box for us, but what the way ahead for us. So I am from PVI side. I have taken a decision that let's start that support system. Ma'am has told we'll help each other, and second, let's start with that hobby ideas, because that is a therapy. The at least the base. Let us start with that, and of course we all have written the other suggestions also. But these two, I feel we will start. And Chandan ma'am has given the gratitude meditation, so which I will share it in the announcement group today itself. So let us start with that gratitude and her support system and hobbies. We will do it. And ma'am, we need your continued support also and guidance also further. So we'll surely get back to you. Ma'am, in case parents want to get connected with you, is it possible through the email?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. If someone wants to connect, you can give me my number, and I give online support, counseling services. So I'm happy to help.
Thank you, ma'am.
And yeah, you can. I would recommend you to find a couple of counselors or therapists as a team. I know whom in emergency can contact and refer parents and for you, even for the teachers also.
Yes, for the institution, yes, ma'am. I totally agree that we need that. I may need more suggestion for that. I will definitely get connected with you, and I'll see how I can get this done for the parents. Like definitely, parents need that counseling support from the institution.
Yeah.
We'll surely do that, ma'am. Take your thing suggestions. So,
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. I request IT team. So, from our side, on behalf of PVA family, we extend our gratitude to you, ma'am, for your valuable time, for your valuable suggestion. We have no words because mental health is something very important, and we learned a lot from you, ma'am. Right from hope, expectation, and how we have to handle the being flexible. So many things we have understood and we have learned from you. I hope you all, the parents also have taken notes of it, and I'll be sharing this recording also, definitely. And ma'am will surely start working. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. And it was a wonderful group. Once again, I want to tell you, I was really happy the way you interacted and you participate. Thanks a lot. Wish you all the best. Okay. And if anyone wants my number, Dr. Gayatri has it. So
I will
you can
definitely share.
contact her.
I will definitely share. One last thing, I request Akila ma'am to kindly propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Gayatri ma'am. Thank you, Nisha ma'am, for the wonderful session. And I'm sure all of us, as Gayatri ma'am rightly said, we have learned lots today. So thank you so much. With this, I'd like to propose the vote of thanks. Thank you, Dr. Gayatri ma'am. On behalf of Prakramika Vocational Institute, I extend our sincere gratitude to Ms. Nisha Jose ma'am for graciously accepting our invitation and sharing her valuable time, knowledge, and experience with us. I would also like to thank all our esteemed advisory board members, parents, caregivers, professionals, and well-wishers from India and the USA for joining us today. Your active participation and thoughtful questions made this session truly meaningful. Thank you once again. Please take care of yourselves, continue to care for your loved ones, and together, let us build a more compassionate and inclusive society. Have a wonderful evening and a great day to the US batch, parents, and caregivers. Namaste and Jai Hind.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
good night and
Thank you.
good
Good
day.
night, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Have to be ready to you have to be ready to answer their questions. Simple answers, like, because since they don't know, they will ask questions. The parents have to be ready to answer to their questions and bring out the child in public, like in a society like where I live, like it's a big society. We have common parks, and also take your child to the park so that other parents see the child, other children of the society see the child. It's then they will come to help you. Otherwise, how do you expect the society or the community to come to help you? So from the parent side also, to move into, mingle with the society, mingle in the community is very, very important. So that one thing I wanted to add, and the community has to come forward. In fact, like that's what I keep doing. I keep talking wherever I go that the community has to, if there's a family with a child, disabled child in our society, the neighbors, the others in the community have to, on their own also make efforts to make friends with them, talk to them and see what help they need and all. That has to happen. But since here it's all parents, and also it has to be the other way also, like suppose if you have a family support, it's very good, like very well and good. But there are so many cases where the single parent children are there, like only the mother is bringing up the child, even like the breakups happen and all that. So in that case, then where will the mother go? So she has to then like go and mingle in the society and take support of the society. Like she has to ask, and even one time asking if nothing happens means she can't, leave it as it is. One person she asked, they didn't help, doesn't mean everyone is going to be like that. She can always go another person also. So it has to be mutual, like, the parents also have to come out, because I'm seeing in my society there are two parents even after visiting them so many times, they've still not visited me once, and they are still hesitate to bring the child to my place or even to the outside. Ganapati ka festival hota hai, I tell them, bring the child, is so much interested in songs and all, she will enjoy. Aarti ke time leke aao. No, like, and one parent finally agreed and bought, like, for Ganapati festival and all. But otherwise, other than that, I don't see the child anywhere outside. So that is also equally important. And that way you get support also, and you get, some place to open up, to talk about your child, and, even and talk other things as well, maybe with them, which will then be a time to refresh yourselves and everything. So that just one thing I thought I should tell, like, so thank you.
Thank you, Padma ma'am. That was really valuable advice. Yes, community, we all have to help the parents. And yeah, it is mutual. I agree. They should also come. That's very important. You should not say, okay, someone is suffering. Why are we to be bothered? That is never should be our attitude.
No, so that's what the community has to help. That in that there is no, like, second thought only. The community has to come forward. Like, everywhere, any opportunity I tell in my society, at least I keep talking to them. But like that child which I'm telling in our society, the neighbors don't know that there is a disabled child in their house. Like, like that they are keeping the child always inside the four, walls of the house. Then how the neighbor is going to help out, like, so their coming out is also very important. Unless and until, even physical spastic children and all, then in a wheelchair you bring and everything, you take them out. You have to take them, like, evening time park mein le jao, like, you give them an outing. That's, it's going to help them, help the child also, when they get that exposure, when they get to see so many, other children playing in the park and all, it will help the child also. So bringing out the child in outside is very, very important.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Padma ma'am, for your advice. I mean, it's very valuable. Yes, very true. Thanks a lot, ma'am. And Varun's
Anyway, it was
sister,
very
I know.
nice. Otherwise, it was, like, she had covered very nicely, and, like, to the parents, address to the parents was really very good by Nisha ma'am. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I felt it is very much important, but particularly in the middle of the our academic thing, parents are really, they are putting a lot of effort, ma'am.
Yeah, that's what.
They're putting I mean, and I can't imagine the way they are working so hard. Then I mean, we thought we should do this because it's important,
Yeah,
their
true.
mental health.
And these hobby classes you are telling, it's going to be help. And every day the primary caregiver, the mother in most of the cases, needs a me time. Like, she has to get away from the child for at least 1 hour or 2 hours, like, so there should be someone to take care of the child. Getting away is not like, like when the child is sleeping, she's doing her work. That is not getting away. Like, actually, when she doesn't have to, could be a feeding time, it could be the play time of the child or something, someone else is taking care, so that she's completely away from the child. Like, that is also very important. Me time is
That
also
is
very
what
important.
she said, that the whole family should take it up.
Should
Not
take
just
care.
the
Yeah,
mother,
that's what
not
I
just
told
the
you.
father. So by sharing,
Yeah.
what happens, that burnout reduces actually.
Yeah, and also the family should not wait for the mother to ask. Like, I'm tired, I want a break. They should on their own also, take, they have to also ask the mother, like, that, okay, you want to take a free time now, take a break now, you move, we'll be there now with the child and all. It is in case of all caregiving, whether it is caregiving of a child or caregiving of an elder at home also, it's the same thing, like, just because one person is taken the responsibility of caregiving doesn't mean that you leave it completely to that person. Like, so that asking is also again from both sides. The caregiver also should also ask. She should also not wait.
Not
कि
just
अभी तक किसी ने मेरे से
keep
पूछा
pushing.
नहीं, like, that I have to only take करके. And the family also should ask them, like, like, anyway you are observing, so subah se you are, since morning you have been with them, so why don't you go out, if you want to talk on a call to someone, make a call, or if you want to go to the temple, go to a market, wherever you want to go and come, I'll be there with the person, like, for some time. So that is also, asking is also very, very important. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very nice.
Thank you,
Good
ma'am.
session, Gayatri. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your words. Very nice. Thank you, ma'am. So, parents, please take care of yourself. Varun's sister, I will have a separate session with you. Okay. See,
Okay, ma'am. Okay, we'll wait for your call.
There are special groups, not call. I'll come in Zoom. Okay, there are special groups. There are, people support groups are there. You have Club Bengistan. You're already a member. So
I'm just few meetings Zoom and then it's over. And uske baad kya? We have to think, no?
You have to think. That's what I'm telling you. You'll have to take him for.
I mean, thinking with that, what all was in our limits or something. Things are not in our limits also, no?
I'll have.
We have to think.
See, I will have a separate Zoom meeting with you. I will tell you what as a sibling you can do without compromising your family. You are both, I'm telling. Both sisters' family. Without compromising your family, what you have to do, I'll help you out. Don't worry.
Because when Papa also gets stressed, आगे क्या करेंगे? So I told him, talk to Gayatri and see something we'll find out. Pakka, like God is there, we'll try our best to find out.
So we'll have
actually, these assisted living homes and all, those things have all started recently, in India actually. So,
but as you said, community has to come forward. We need to bring our needs to the community.
So you have to also go to the community,
That's
what.
Ma'am is
also
telling you should also go to the
You
community.
should also go to the community,
That's not every time they come.
Yeah. And that way, see, whatever you were writing, whatever ma'am was telling, Varun was replying to all the messages. Like
I was there.
So he is like, I'm saying, so he is like an intelligent child, like in the sense, like he was understanding, it was being discussed about him and he is replying to the messages. I saw the chats, Varun himself writing everything.
Because he can't say these things, but we do understand his feelings.
Yeah, so it's not like, just we find a place. That's what he says. There is no place in Pune, he's writing. So
we have searched on our level, there are rehabs, but the rehabs are not that good and they don't treat well. I had been 1 year, he was there in rehab, so we saw, but then only we took the decision to bring him home back after seeing the whole scenario.
Padma ma'am, hi.
Hello, Varun, hello.
Okay, ma'am, we won't take a lot of time.
That's okay. Not an issue. We'll have one-on-one in Zoom. I will explain to you what all you can do. Okay, don't worry.
100%. We'll wait for your call, ma'am.
Gayatri ma'am.
Yes, Varun.
Can like the admission in PVI classes, if possible, any classes right now?
Anytime I told you, third phase you are coming.
From where should I come? From where should I join?
September onwards.
Timing and the dates.
They
will tell you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you to all the parents for your patience, patiently waiting and being a part of this. Come together. Even I will need volunteers, parent volunteers also. Can't be done alone. So let us do it together. Okay. Thank you, parents. Thank you, Padma.
Thank you, Gayatri ma'am. Thank you, Padma ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good night to India parents.
Thank
Have a great day for US parents.
Thank you.
Good day, everyone.
Good night.
Bye. Bye-bye, everyone.
Gayatri ma'am, do you want to talk now or will you call later?
I'll call tomorrow.
Sure.
I'll call tomorrow. Okay. I want to talk.
Sure.
Thought of
Good
calling
night.
today,
Thank
but
you
it
so
got
much.
delayed. Tomorrow I'll surely call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone. Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.